Welcome to Prestigious Women's Getaway Talk Show, where prestigious women come, get away, and talk, and give us marvelous interviews and model. I'm your host, John Woodbury III. This is my co-host, Marinah Moser, beautiful Marinah Moser. I want to introduce you to her, and her introduce her to you.
Sure, my pleasure. Thanks. Good evening, everyone. And our next guest, I'm not going to tell a lot of things about her because we're going to find out together. But a good definition to describe her is a definition that I found in the dictionary about a phoenix. In Egyptian mythology, a phoenix is a bird that lived in the desert and then consumed itself by fire, later to rise renewed from its ashes. So that's the definition I think that most suits our guest tonight. Please welcome Alin Queen. Woo!
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Blessing,
It's humbling.
blessing.
It really is.
Blessing.
So nice to have our phoenix here.
Nice to be
Have a
here.
seat,
My
have a
pleasure.
seat.
Thank you.
So Alin, I didn't say this definition for no reason.
Right.
I think there is an important things in your life that, a specific one important event in your life that would be really helpful if you could share with people, because they can learn from you any lesson.
Before you say, can I say she looks stunning, don't she?
She does.
I work at it.
She does.
It doesn't come easy, I can tell you that.
But good job. Good job.
I appreciate it. You guys look marvelous too, just so you know.
Thank you. We want to hear from you.
Well, about I would say 8-9 years ago, I was on top of the world, in the men's world, doing my thing with a big franchise. Opened 43 first locations in about 20 states. Everything was wonderful. I was on my way home to my daughter, closing a good deal of 3 locations in Florida, and some drunk driver hit me. Almost took my life away. At that moment, I remember one thing. I remember, thank God my daughter is not with me. That's what I remember. And then I remember waking up and not remember anything. And I remember sitting with the doctor that tells me, hey, if you want to walk again, you're going to have to do a couple of surgeries. Now, I have a bad experience with surgeries. My mom had 17 of them. And I have a lot of friends that done back surgery, so I know the odds. And I said, you know what? I know it's mind over matter, and my mind is powerful, and I'm going to do this without no surgeries. And I left the doctor office, and I lost almost everything I had, but a year and a half later, I walked into the doctor office. I ran into the doctor office. And I did it with physiotherapy, yoga, and a lot of meditation. And it cost a lot of money. The driver was never caught, so I had to pay all the other bills. I lost our home, for $12,000. I lost a $600,000 home. So people don't get it. When you pay your home and you work your butt for it. But I've never looked myself as a victim. Every time God sent me something, I always see it as a blessing. I always, my toe, people don't, my nails, I want you to look at my nails for a second, because it's the silver lining. It's me reminding myself that everything have a silver lining. I always do that. Because every time I go to hardship, and God's going to throw some curveballs your way, right? He will. That's what he does. That's what he does. He throw curveballs your way, and what you need to understand is when he throw that is because he knows something better is coming. You just need to not give up. That's what it is. And he got something better plans for you. I realize it, and believe me, I've been to half a century almost. People don't know that. I think it's the first time people will know I'm going to be 49 in July, almost 50 years old, I would say. Well, thank you. I work at it. I do. It doesn't come easy. But I have somebody that makes me want to live and made me want to be a better me. It's my daughter, Sylvia. She's everything for me, and she's the love of my life, and she is the one that kept me strong all this time when I was going through the hard and pain and hardship. And when I walked with the doctor, he couldn't believe it. He thought I actually cheated on him and went to another doctor and did the surgery without him. When I showed him my non-scar on my back, he said, well, your skin is so good, you probably recovered well. I want to take an x-ray. No joke. Seriously, this is a real story. And when he took the x-ray, he says, oh my God, I need you to talk to some of my patients. Because evidently there is a more powerful thing than a surgery. It's your mind. It's what you want in your life. Now it's been an amazing experience. I was able to never be homeless even for one day. Was able to move to another place, a smaller place. I call it my little heaven on earth. I think most people will say this is what made me who I am today, is that experience, because it makes you humble. It makes you appreciate every day. It makes you realize that you got one life, one body, one soul, and you have one opportunity to make it right. That's it, just one. And I wake up every morning and I thank God that I'm alive, that He gave me another day to breathe and to follow my dreams, really, and to do whatever I can. I'm not asking Him to give Him anything. I just want to be able to do it myself. But just give me the power to do it myself. That's all I want, because I know I'm powerful. It's part of who was I, because I was able to walk into a doctor's office that thought that I'll never walk again.
You're powerful because you speak it.
I feel it, I live it. It's not just speak it. A lot of people speak it. Isn't it the town that a lot of people speak it? Do you agree with me, John?
I agree.
A lot of people speak it here, but who lives it really? Think about it for a second. Well, people, do this, I do that. You got to live it. You got to immerse yourself into this and understanding that this is it. Not Michael Jackson, this is it. This is it for him. But not for me. For me, this is it. It's do or die. It's do or leave, actually, for me, because there's no dying in here. I know I got many years. I have a daughter to raise, and when I realized, okay, this is how powerful I am, well, time to freaking take it to the next level, because time not waiting for me anymore. So I live every day when I wake up in the morning like it's my last day. Mm-hmm. I'm not waiting for tomorrow, because all I have is right now. And I can tell you this, it's been an amazing journey since. So thank you.
And so I imagine that through these years of recovering, you have to survive, right? There is meditation, there is yoga that helps a lot, but you have to put food on the table, right? So could you tell about this journey that you were into?
Okay, well, it can bring me back to some good times, as I would say, because it was a good time. I was able to realize I can reinvent myself over and over again. So one of my passions, people don't know about me, I've been cooking since I was 9 years old. My mom was sick when I was 9 years old. I was one of 5. And she was paralyzed for about 3 years. And, one of 5, the firstborn, I had to take over the house until she recovered. So I was the kitchen. And I come from a Moroccan big family. 13 brothers and sisters from my mom's side, 11 from my dad's side, a lot of uncles and aunts and sisters and, and nieces and nephews, right? So big dinner, Moroccan food. A lot of people don't know I'm Jewish Moroccan. That's where it's coming from. So food, Friday night in our table was about 30 appetizers, bread made from scratch, desserts, 2 different kinds of fish, 2 different kinds of beef and lamb, and such a feast. It was like a celebration. Every Friday was a party, and there was 20, 30 people there, and food was just everything. Mm-hmm. And this is where people connect, right? Food. And I had no choice but to take that responsibility at 9-year-old. So she would sit with the cast, I remember this till today like it was yesterday, and just guide me through the recipes and tell me what to do, and I would do it. I fell in love with the kitchen. Within 3 months, I've literally just immersed myself into this. And after 3 months, what happened is, I'm going to tell you a little story, is that we have a Moroccan style fish. It's salmon fillet, no bones, no skin, nothing. And it's got all kind of tomato slices and garlic and, all kind of things in it. And it's delicious. It's to die for, really. And it's a very known dish in Moroccan tradition. And I decided that it doesn't look so healthy because it was 2 cups of oil per fish. My mom used to cook with a lot of oil. And also, I like, I start loving kitchen, right? So I want it to look good. So instead of getting regular tomatoes, I do cherry tomatoes, different kinds. Instead of regular peppers, I different kind of peppers. Didn't slice it, just have it whole. Instead of slice the garlic, so chop it, I just put it whole, and I put tons of it. And I took the, cilantro and just with a little oil and made extra virgin olive oil instead. And nice plated it for everybody instead of just, doing it. Like a chef do, it was like a dream of mine when I realized my passion. And I remember sitting at a table on Friday, and my dad does the blessing, and then everybody take the first bite of the fish, and my dad literally stopped and says, "Oh my God, this is the best fish by far I ever had." Now you have to understand, my mom was a very strong woman. You can tell where I come from, right? Just in case you're wondering, it's my mom. And my heart stopped at that moment because he just told my mom her fish is shit. That's what, for me, I'm sorry. Did I say the S word? I'm sorry. I'm just not used to it.
I wouldn't like to be in your mom's shoes.
No, you don't. In your mom's shoes?
Yeah.
She used to have a buckles to hit me, okay? If something was wrong. So I was afraid of my mom. I wasn't afraid of my dad, but I said, yeah, what are you thinking, okay? But here's the thing is that my mom looked at him and says, what are you talking about? That's my recipe. And he said, 1 second. And my heart is like, I'm done. That's it. I'm probably not seeing the kitchen ever again. That was my fear, funny enough.
Wow.
She take a bite. She looks at me and she have that look. Did you change your recipe?
Wow.
My heart was stopping at that moment. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it as I know how. It says, yes, Mom. I didn't not much. Just the ingredients, a little bit. Instead of regular tomatoes, he said, stop. And I thought she's going to hit me. I swear to God, I thought she's going to hit me in front of everybody. And she said, well, that's delicious. You got talent, girl. I don't need to sit with you in the kitchen anymore. You can cook by yourself. Wow. That was it. So, you see what I'm saying? So, and that was my passion from then. And what I've done, I took it to the next level. I went to schools and I've done my cooking. But throughout the time of my misery, I started cooking. Because it's my passion. It's easy. It's from home, right? And it's amazing therapy. And not only that, I realized people love my food. So I've got an amazing friend named Mark Severe, by the way, who was part of my culinary passions adventure, which is I shared my food and created a book with recipes, which is probably going to publish pretty soon, hopefully. And I've just invited people over and created an event. And the good friends came and helped. People helped by coming over. People came with their name. A guy put a thing on. And that's how I support myself. I was cooking privately to people that doesn't have the time to cook, but want healthy food at home. So I would go in and cook for the whole week and package it out and put it in their freezer because they come home and they're looking forward for that. And that's what got me through this time. And it was an amazing experience because I love cooking.
I tell you one thing, I know she can cook. But I'm gonna tell you something because me and my co-host, we pre-interview the people that we interview. And I tried to do a pre-interview with her until she brought out her cooking. We was pre-interviewing. I started eating the cooking she brought out. Next thing I know, she was shaking me. John, wake up!
So, better saying, I did the pre-interview and he just did the eating. That's our pre-interview.
She can cook.
Yeah.
She can cook.
I need to make that clear.
You better not eat none of her cooking. You'll go to sleep. I'm telling you, it's delicious, girl. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Woo,
my
don't
mouth
do
is
it.
watering now.
She can cook.
I'm ordering just thinking about it. You see, this is how my
Cook.
food is. I love cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
But it's another thing that you real good at too, and that's handling business. Tell us a little bit about the business you're in. You're vice president now, and how do you get to that point?
Well, life brought me to this amazing company. By the way, food connected between all of it because they used to be my clients, the owners of this franchise that I'm now part of, which I'm loving. Used to eat at my restaurant in the back of my house when I was before I had my daughter. And They brought their family. They remember my food. Evidently, they remember me because when I called them, I was trying to offer them something else, and they ended up, because it's a name you will not forget. His name is Peleg. Lindenberg is the owner of the franchise. And I remember, I said, I know one Peleg. And then he says, who are you? And I said my name, and he says, oh my God, you just come here, because he thought I'm looking for a job. Okay? And I just knew it was him, and I just got there. We sat in front of each other, and I knew them as a carpet cleaners 17 years ago. Okay? It turned out this carpet cleaning company became a freaking franchise. 35 locations, they become multimillionaires, these people. And I realized they got an amazing business model, and I said, 35 locations in 15 years? What's wrong with you? They look at me like, look at her sitting here on the other chair and telling us what's wrong with us. And I said, because I see an amazing business and amazing people, and I see an opportunity to really help a lot of other people to get the same fresh start you've been given. What are you doing wrong? Long story short, I started working them as an area development. In a man industry, it's a man's world. It's called 911 Restoration. We are traded marked as a fresh start company, started by two amazing 22-year-olds with $3,000. Now there's a multi-million-dollar company. So it's a story by itself, okay? And what I realized is one thing, they partner up with Google, which, by the way, going to be sponsoring one of our sooner close events. And what I realized is, my God, it wasn't food. It wasn't food. But it was helping people, because it's a beautiful thing when you help people have a disaster. Restoration is Hurricane Katrina was a big disaster. This is where we started. We can restore people's homes and people's life, really. And you take money from the bad people. Well, don't put it there, but insurance companies, right? Really, and you help them out. And it's all about really giving it back, right? And then you make money also out of it. Makes a lot of sense to me. Well, long story short, the first year, I've opened 17 new states for us. Almost 18 new locations, so almost time and a half within 1 year what they've done in 15 years, okay? I became director of franchise development, and I knew I'm going for the VP. The day I sat with him for the interview, I said, I'm going for the vice president, then I'll take your job and you go to Costa Rica and enjoy it, the CEO, the owner. And he says, well, I'm with you. See, this is a beautiful thing, because it's the fresh start company, and they gave me a fresh start. They gave me a stage so I can showcase my talent. And they believe in me when I didn't believe in myself, to be honest. Because, when life beats you up, you kind of lose faith, right? But then, every time I go to this place when God's throw me curveballs, and thank you, God, because you've been amazing to me every day. I realize He does it because He's telling me there's something better waiting for you. And that was what waiting for me all this time. Now, long story short, now I'm Vice President of Franchise Development, second to the CEO, amazing guy, Dan Spieser. My God, that's my hero. He's the man who changed my life. I've been to Tony Robbins, I've done so many things these past 2 years. People don't know, I lost almost 102 pounds just in the past 8 months. When you're not happy, you're gonna eat yourself, right? And I realized that's not me. That person I've seen in the picture one day, it wasn't me. And I decided to just take my life into the next level and say, okay, just live the best you can. Yoga, good food, healthy food. I don't eat meat or chicken, fish and vegetables and fruit. Vegetarian most of the time, or pescatarian as they say. And I cook everything at home. 99% of my food is at home. You've been there, so you know, John. You fell asleep after a minute, but he finished eating. And by the way, he did not forget, I have to say this, he did not forget to ask me if he can take the rest to go. I did pack the plate to go. I did. I'm sorry, John, I have to say that. And I get it because, listen, that's what I cook for. That's what I cook for. People like you, it's smiling and that quiet, and suddenly they fall asleep. So about 4 months ago, they finally called me to the office and we talked, me and the CEO, and he says, well, guess what? New business card's coming. I says, well, I hope he's the vice president on it. And he says, you got it.
Wow.
And yes, it's a man industry, it's a man's world, but this industry specifically, there's no woman ever to be in this business. and it's kind of make me proud. And you know what? My daughter is proud of me, and that's the most important thing for me. She's proud of me, and today I realized how much she's proud of me because she was talking to my friends and telling them, and being on the side and listening to it. Wow, really, all the world can be proud of you. It doesn't matter, but when your daughter is proud of you, that makes a mom proud. I own this. That's mine. See, when she's proud of me, that makes it all worth it. So Sylvia, I love you, baby. You're the best. She's, by the way, sitting right here and like a trooper and handling businesses, I would say, with mom. But yeah, it's been quite an experience, and I'm very grateful. And I was given a fresh start because I guess God's there looking out.
Can I say that you spoke on three things that supersede everything? Faith, then you spoke on family, and then hard work. So, and passion in it.
I got passion for life. That's what it is. If you gotta have passion, I live with passion. See, if you don't have passion for what you do, you can't get anywhere, really. Everything you gotta do it like you're gonna die tomorrow. Because if you don't do it, guess what? You may die tomorrow and you may miss so much. So for me, it's about a passion. And I've got passion for life. I've got a daughter that keeps me up to speed. And, you know, that's my biggest drive, I would say. And I have passion for my daughter, you see. So without passion, you got nothing. And I always say one thing, well, I say many things, but I'm going to add one more thing, is I've always been standing out, you see. I've never been the average Joe or Joanna in this case, because I definitely don't look like a Joe. I hope so. I always was a tomboy, you know, in a way, but very much a woman. People need to know that. And by standing out, I realized I become outstanding. And I always strive to be outstanding because good, everybody. Surviving, everybody does that. A homeless in the street survived, doesn't he? Yeah. He stays alive, he survived, isn't he? Most people make a living, right? Well, making a living, you live, you make a living, right? I didn't want to make a living. I wanted to make a killing. Not kill somebody, or you know, that's part of a different story. I wanted to make sure that I have enough so I can give. Right. So I can give. I never want to take, I just want to give. And if you give you enough, you can give, right? So I said, God, give me so I can give. I never asked me so I can have money, so I can have this, because I can really survive, right? But I wanted to give. I wanted to do something bigger. And I wanted to leave a legacy for my daughter. So he's good. He's been there, and I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I just want to say, God bless you.
Well, thank you. God bless you too.
For the passion that you have inside of you, and keeping that passion inside of you that God placed inside of you. It's an honor for you coming on our show and joining us. You have graced this rooftop today, and like it's a privilege and honor for you to come up here and share what you just shared with us.
Well, thank you. It's been my pleasure, and I have no doubt that this show of yours will be something to be reckoned with, a force to be reckoned with. You're doing the right thing, so you know.
Thank you.
People and women out there.
Yeah.
To just go and do what they need to do, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you. And this was our prestigious guest, Alin Queen, who shared with us her amazing story.
His last cruise, actually, Queen is my maiden name. I keep it on.
Oh, right. Okay, so please, it's Cruz.
Alin Cruz, but Queen is my last name. It's my maiden name, so just my marriage name is Cruz, and I guess most people know me this, and business-wise, it's work. Okay. So.
All right, so it's Alin Queen Cruz. Right, yes.
I like that.
I like it too. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Thank you.
Until next time, be blessed and God bless. Thank you.
Beautiful.